After a poor season, with 3 managers and ending the season with a negative goal difference and a rancid style of play under Mike Dodds, Sunderland needed to do better with a talented young squad. That squad became even younger when Corey Evans and Bradley Dack were released in the closed season, the ineffective Mason Burstow returning to Chelsea, and Sunderland opted against taking the chance to sign Callum Styles, and he returned to Barnsley. Despite being managerless, Sunderland continued to offload. The hand of card Alex Bass went to Notts County and was replaced with Simon Moore from Coventry City as Pato's understudy. And a week before the end of June,
a little bit of breaking news to bring you, Sunderland fans. You've got a new manager. Michael Beale, remember, left in February. Been over 100 days since you've had a permanent manager. But Regis Le Bris as their new head coach. Been confirmed. The Championship side have agreed compensation with Lorient. And Le Bris has been granted a work permit. The Frenchman will arrive on Weir side on the 1st of July and sign a 3-year contract at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland have a new manager.
Le Bris had limited frontline experience, just 18 months in charge of Lorient in Ligue 1 in France. A promising start there had been undercut with the club's sale of their top 4 goal scorers, and a second season of struggle inevitably followed. It was by mutual consent that he was released from Lorient the very same day he was appointed at Sunderland. Despite his recent relegation, he arrived with a mountain of qualifications in developing youth talent better than almost anybody else in the French top flight. As July opened, Regis gave his first press conference and presented himself as a self-assured man with a vision of how he wanted to play.
The first target is the style of play in order to win. We won't play like Guardiola or decisively because we are Sunderland. And I'm Regis Le Bris. But these ideas help us.
And this style was evident from his time at Lorient in his first successful season. Surely, with this talented squad, we could do much better with this than last season. Sunderland looked to have changed tack slightly with the free transfer of Alan Brown from Preston North End, the captain from there, joining on a free. Brown looked solid, experienced and never injured, and might well bring some composure to our young midfield. Then, on the 13th-hour traditional pre-season curtain raiser, the double-header against Shields and the Heed saw a heavily rotated squad and an injury to Dan Ballard that would keep him out for most of the first month of the season. Brilliant. He did, however, sign a new deal 10 days later to keep him here until 2028, though.
I like the area, I like the people, I feel comfortable here, and now it's just about pushing myself and trying to improve myself and hopefully helping the team.
And also around all of
That's a funny heading style, that, Daniel. Never get anywhere doing that, I think. And then, midway through July, it was off to Spain for warm weather training and a game against Premier League Nottingham Forest. Things were tight, but the lads did well. But this was against a team I couldn't at that time see doing anything this season. What do I know, eh? As the month closed, Sunderland sought to strengthen their right-wing options by signing the made-of-glass Giancarlo Poveda on a free, and he promptly disappeared for a few months with an injury. As August began, pre-season finished with a biting draw against Marseille, with the likely starting 11 on show. That's Ouchi's second penalty of pre-season. He scored one against Shields as well. Maybe he'll be our penalty taker. Doesn't matter. Anyone can take a penalty in this team. And so, on the 10th of August, we lined up against a Cardiff side who were favourites for the fixture. But Sunderland, against the run of play, broke with speed and conviction and ran out 2-0 winners.
Ring. On to Bellingham. Clark. This is a chance for Sunderland! And that's 3 points! What a lovely finish!
A midweek cup game was forfeited for a second string run-out, and lost to a full-strength Preston North End.
Options arriving in the middle. Oh, and Ledson's there! And the deflection does the job!
On the 24th of August, Ian Hart finally got his wish as Jack Clarke moved to Ipswich Town for something north of £15 million. The fact that Kieran McKenna's side didn't play anything like the type of football to accommodate him seemed irrelevant. But Ian Hart would soon fail his UEFA exam to remain an agent, and, well, that would be that. But a new hero emerged from the outcome. Romain Mundle came of age in his first game against likely promotion contenders Burnley. Even a late red card for Dan Neil couldn't spoil this win.
And that's not a good challenge from Dan Neil, who's been booked already, remember. Brings down the substitute, Anthony, and 10-man Sunderland hold on. They get the 1-0 victory on home soil thanks to that man's goal, Romain Mundle.
And then he delivered again, a week later against Portsmouth.
Big challenge in the middle. Chris Rigg it is who gets it back for Sunderland. This is Mayenda. He's got Mundle to the left. Trey Hume coming in the shot now as well. Mundle, left-footed. Goal. 3-0 Sunderland!
As Sunderland blew open the pre-season predictions of a mid-table finish by destroying every team they came across in the opening month. And they ended August with 10 goals scored and just 1 conceded. Not since 1925 had Sunderland won their opening 4 games of the season, and all of it earned Regis Le Bris the Manager of the Month award. And as the transfer window closed, Sunderland saw Regis Le Bris make ruthless and decisive squad choices. Ekwa left on loan for Saint-Etienne in France's Ligue 1, Pembele for Le Havre, Triantis for Hibs, Matete for Bolton, and Hamir for Juventus Next Gen. And incoming was a host of quality, notably a genuine striker in Wilson Isidore from Lokomotiv Moscow, some experience in the Premier League with Chris Mepham from Bournemouth, and Champions League experience in the middle of the park with Salis Abdul Samed from Racing Club de Lens. Added to this were 2 purchases for the future, 19-year-old Serbian youth midfielder Milan Aleksic and 20-year-old Ghent striker Ahmed Abdullahi, who was so raw he had played just 2 games for the Ghent first team before signing for us. But as a Jermaine Defoe fan, he was delighted to come to Sunderland. And with that, the squad for the season was largely decided, and the international break afforded Le Bris 2 weeks to bed everyone in. With the internationals done, Sunderland headed to winless Plymouth with the opportunity to record their best ever league start in history by recording a straight 5th victory. But somehow, the lads contrived to lose the game, and the Black Cats' flying start of the season was over.
Cannon's in off him. That's a great save as well, isn't it? And then, as you look there, 2 conceded, 2 on goals.
Following Ballard's own goal, Chris Mepham was selected to make his debut against Borough on the 21st and had a solid game. And at the other end of the pitch, Chris Rigg opened his account with a sublime back heel, and Sunderland's squad started to look like it had depth to cover injuries.
Part of Michael Carrick's coaching staff. Patrick Roberts, it's opened up for him. And there's an opportunity here. Oh, how cool is that? How cool is that? From Chris Rigg.
Free agent Aaron Connolly was added to the squad on the 24th with a 1-year contract. And on the 28th, Wilson Isidore got his first start against Watford in lieu of an injured Eliza Mayenda. He had been a late substitute for the last 3 games and looked to be both technical and pacey. And he duly delivered in his full debut.
Roberts crosses one, and it's in! It's Wilson Isidore!
There it is, bright start to the second half for Sunderland. And Patrick Roberts down the right-hand side, into the middle, and it's a similar situation to the one he had in the first half, wasn't it? Went past,
but a needless foul in the box from Dan Neil saw a late winner from the spot for Watford. So Sunderland closed out September conceding 5 goals in just 3 games and adding only 3 points to their August league placing. Chris Rigg, though, picked up the EA Sports Young Player of the Month award, probably for his left hold XXY back heel against Borough. October saw Le Bris and the lads come roaring back. First, a ripper from Joe Bellingham sent Sunderland back to the top of the table in a confident display against Derby County.
25-yard, lines it up and drills it into the back of the net. Oh, he's talented. He's very, very talented. What a way to get your first goal of the season.
The only disappointment here was to see Ian Poveda come on as a substitute, only to leave the field 11 minutes later injured, after a total of 44 minutes of first-team football. And that would be the last we saw of him until half the season had elapsed. 3 days later, Leeds visited the Stadium Light for the biggest test of the season to date. To be promoted, we would have to prove ourselves able to compete with teams like Leeds. An impressive Sunderland took the lead through sustained attack.
This circuit. Shrug off a Tanaka challenge on this occasion, and Bellingham will sweep it here to Patrick Roberts. Brig, and again. Leave that by Hume. This is lovely football, and he will pull it back, and second is there, and finally in! And it's that young man again, with another memorable moment.
Leeds came back into the game courtesy of an offside goal from Joel Pirro and an ignored handball from Willie Gnonto.
Rico 9 keen to see how Joel Pirro looks with a slightly higher collar. Oh, Junior Firpo on the march here. And Junior Firpo again scores!
But fate intervened where the referee should have, and in the dying minutes, a miss-hit Alan Brown ball spun off Junior Firpo, confused Melia, and gifted Sunderland the draw.
And Wilson Isidore. What has he done?
Well, we've seen some goalkeeping howlers in our times. This is right up there. This is right up there. You cannot believe it. It's a gift. It's a present.
And now, we can all believe that perhaps we might be genuine contenders for promotion. Regis finally got his assistant manager in October as Pedro Ribeiro was appointed, having been out of work since January. Then, on the 20th of October, after the second international break, where Eagles Dare were dispatched through compact defending to release Isidore on the counter for a goal of individual brilliance.
Well, Malin was being tightly marked there by the referee, and now the counter's on. And referee Madley has played his part in this. Isidore leading the Sunderland charge! Beautiful finish!
And this was followed up by more resilience in the win over pre-season divisional favourites Luton Town.
Challenge from Trey Hume.
Yeah, I think he wants a free kick earlier. So Alan Brown, he feels he's pulled him back, but Trey Hume makes a good challenge.
He's Mundle. Mundle! Mundle!
Yes! What a hit!
Patterson was injured against Luton Town, though, so Simon Moore stepped in and made his debut as Sunderland closed out 3 games in 10 days to end the month with an irresistible display over newly promoted Oxford United. Joe Bellingham ran the show.
Hume to Job! There it is!
It's been coming, hasn't it? What a start. 15 minutes on the clock.
And Wilson Isidore buried the most sublime volley to seal the points and earn Regis his second Manager of the Month award.
Dan Neil. Isidore's on the end of this! Oh!
What a finish!
And there we were, with a quarter of the season gone and 3 of the top contenders played. Sunderland sat top of the table. Excitement now turned to possibilities.
Just takes one over the top for him.
November proved a chastening month, though. Joe Bellingham was sent off against Queen's Park Rangers, and we struggled for half an hour as a result to take a draw at Loftus Road.
Same position as that Varane challenge against Blackburn.
Then, away at Deepdale, we struggled again against an aggressive Preston North End.
As number 1 in the Championship, Sunderland hold on to power at the top of the Championship.
Mehmet Mundal gets it back. Mundal ball in. Shot comes in. Goal! Nice ball through from Alan Brown. What a touch that is! Sunderland will have to get it back. Here's Mundal. Nice play from Mundal. Brings in Dennis Serkin. Referee plays advantage. Wilson Isidore's up with play. Serkin goes himself!
What a hit! What a hit, Dennis Serkin!
Even when we tore Coventry to shreds, we contrived to give away a 2-goal lead late in the game and ended up with yet another draw.
Spadoni at the far post.
Millwall away followed, and Aaron Connolly stepped in to score what would turn out to be his only goal for the lads, with a crisp strike on the edge of the box.
Towards O'Nien, and then it falls kindly and it's drilled home. Really good hit from Aaron Connolly.
But a naive league debut from an over-eager Milan Alexic resulted in a very late goal for the Lions, and a draw again.
Fabulous win for Sunderland, and they might be able to seal it now. Alexic with the run. Out to make the block was Jensen. Here's Langstaff. Useful ball from him. Tries to get forward in support. Sunderland struggling to defend this. Femi Aziz with the equaliser. Desperately late.
A totally dominant Sunderland couldn't even find a way past an embarrassing defensive Carlos Corberan's West Bromwich Albion. We had to suck up a 0-0 home draw to them too. All of this meant the lads slipped to 4th in the table, 7 points off top by the end of the month. We had, however, extended our unbeaten run to 10 games, and now hadn't lost for 2 full months. Injuries were starting to bite though. We lost Mundal, Brown and Serkin for several months, and we travelled to Sheffield United with a slightly weakened lineup.
The kick. Right on the edge of the penalty area.
Clean through really, isn't it?
Sheffield United desperate for a card, no doubt of one particular colour.
2 first-half red cards threw the game up in the air.
Harry Suter.
He knows he's on a yellow card. It's a brilliant first touch, and it's clear as day. Really ripped shirt off his back, and a real stupid card.
Well, Isidore. Happy it's a second yellow for.
But we dominated a relatively passive Blade side and were unlucky to lose.
Go on, and it has to be a penalty. Jack Robinson, Sunderland become only the second championship team to score here. No, they can't.
1-0 to another late goal. But late goals happen, don't they? I'm sure we'll get upset.
What a moment for Tom Davis!
December opened with Tommy Watson kicking off the month and a brace against Stoke City to score his first full league goals.
From Tommy Watson. Oh, a bit messy at the moment. Neil. Roberts. And the shot will come in. He took a deflection. And he scored again. Tommy Watson.
Unfortunately, that was followed up with a scrappy concession at home to Bristol City, and we struggled to come away from that with a draw.
Oh, Sheesh gives it back to Roberts. Can he get his feet right? Yes! Patrick Roberts gets the equaliser for Sunderland!
Well, we said earlier on, is it the night for Patrick?
And it also put Tommy Watson on the injury list, which meant we had no left winger now, and Eliza Mayenda would have to fill in on the wing until either Watson or Mundal could return. And the same thing looked like happening a week later away to Swansea City.
It's up in the air, there might be an opportunity here. Well, everyone's stopped. And Vibotnik scores.
Well, for the far corner.
He's gone for it. He scored. It's 2-0 to Swansea.
But a superbly committed second half saw us overrun the Swans, and we were consistently starting to see a team that refused to give up and would fight till the end in games.
Hume. It's a good header. Sunderland are back in this. Dan Ballard scores from a set piece.
Back in it, yeah.
Can Joe get it back? He can. Dan Neil. Still going Dan Neil. Fancies one! Oh, yes! What a finish!
Strike! Drop him and then they get the throw in and they keep going again.
Good ball from Ballard to find Trey Hume and moves it on to Patrick Roberts. He's Rig. Ball's across! He's in!
Oh!
It's Job! It's 3-2!
There we go! Well, in a space of what, 2-3 minutes, 2-1 down, 3-2 up. What a comeback.
A week later, on the 21st of December, Sunderland again came from behind at home to an agitated Norwich.
Borges Sands. It's a deep one. It's kept alive. Mayenda now pops it back in towards Ballard. Yes! Sunderland are back in this, and it's that man again.
Yeah, 2-2 for Dan Ballard. Mayenda now.
It's a late challenge by Cordoba. Referee reaching, and that's big trouble for Norwich City. Cordoba already on a yellow. A red card was always looking likely for somebody. Norwich down to 10.
With Job again scoring the winner.
Meanwhile, Sunderland free kick. Feeling the drama's not done yet. Here's Bellingham checking and scoring! Joe Bellingham completing the comeback for the second week in a row.
And Sunderland were poised just 2 points off an automatic promotion spot come Christmas Eve. But the chance slipped away yet again with a last-minute equaliser gifted to Blackburn.
Stands one up. Gay's there. Trouble here for Sunderland. Oh, he can't keep it out. And he's just came
off the
on.
bench. It's his team back into it. 2-2. Yeah, don't deal with the ball coming in far.
And an inexplicable loss to relegation-threatened Stoke right behind it. If we couldn't take these chances, we wouldn't go up.
Now they can map him. Possible opportunity, and it's a last-minute goal once again. John Cannon.
As the new year opened, the transfer window also opened, and hope abounded. Although we had once again failed to take an automatic slot when the chance provided, we did have a steely refusal to be beaten that was keeping us in the hunt. The lads had lost only 2 games in the previous 25. Staggering stuff. Chris Rigg and Jobe Bellingham were named North East Football Writers Young Player of the Year, and Jobe scooped the December PFA Player of the Month on top of that. Then, into the night, we faced the return fixture of table-topping Sheffield United at the Stadium of Light. Luke O'Nien gave away an obvious penalty, but Moore helped us out with a poor strike.
He's made his move in the middle there, gets beyond him, it almost dropped to Robinson, and the referee claimed he was pulled to the ground as he was about to take a strike. They don't deal with a first ball in front of the Sheffield United fans who are in the top tier at that end. They've got ringside seats for this. It's Kiefer Moore, and Patterson gets down to it.
And Pato saved. And at the other end, Eliza Mayenda showed Moore how to score from 12 yards when he gambled on a mistake by the defender and stole away one-on-one with the keeper.
Mayenda is through here for Sunderland. It's Mayenda!
Mayenda hadn't scored for 12 games since late August, and he had some doubters. Keep gambling on those errors, big man. You never know what you might pick up.
The curtain has gone up on 2025 at the Stadium of Light.
Luke O'Nien got on the score sheet as well, just at the wrong end. It wasn't his night. But once again, his teammates got him out of jail, as the pace and individual brilliance of Wilson Isidore saw him knock £10 million off Amahodjic's price tag and smash it past Cooper. We'd been unlucky not to beat the Blades a month earlier at Bramall Lane, so this was an important faith-believing win for the lads. We had just taken apart the divisional leaders and were still in the hunt for automatic promotion.
He deserves that acclaim, that adulation, because
this was followed up with a routine win over Portsmouth visiting the Stadium Light, with Wilson Isidore scoring his 3rd goal in 4 games.
This is Mayenda. He's got options to his left. Isidore's onside, and Isidore scores!
I've got to say,
the second week of January saw the brief interlude of losing to Stoke again in the FA Cup this time, where there was a much rotated Sunderland squad to give academy prospect Trey Ogunsoyi his debut, having only just turned 18.
So sloppy at the back from Sunderland. And Stoke with a gilt-edged chance here. Cannon from the spots, 1-0 Stoke.
And then came another real test for us, away to a much more effectively organised Burnley. 2 seasons ago, it had been a spirited backs-to-the-wall defence to earn a point at Turf Moor, but now we went there with belief we could win. Dennis Serkin made his 100th appearance for the lads and Chris Rigg his 50th. But most eye-catching was the debut of January transfer arrival from Roma, Enzo Lefebvre. Quite possibly the most technical player we had ever signed, and definitely a coup. The squad's potential came into focus, and we dominated a one-dimensional Burnley, in a game where a win would have sent us joint second in the league with Leeds United.
And a dual one. Mayenda through to Wilson Isidore, who was clipped. And the referee points to the penalty spot. It was a fine margin.
But the antics of James Trafford, who managed to thwart 2 late penalties from Wilson Isidore, denied us, and yet another chance to move in the automatic spots went begging.
As long as he dares, just took a glove off James Trafford deliberately.
Well, yeah, it's always a psychological battle as much as anything this.
Of course it is.
And Isidore's fortitude being tested to the limit here.
Probably should have walked away, Wilson Isidore. He's had the ball on the spot for a very long time. The referees let James Trafford away with a lot here. A lot.
Wilson Isidore with a really weighty responsibility here. Oh, and Trafford to deny him. And the long, long wait has paid off. Isidore. Lefebvre circling outside. And the challenge. And a header of unorthodox. Well, the Burnley player's appealing as though he's given a penalty here.
Well, he hasn't given a penalty for that, surely. Let's have a look here. I'm not sure about that. Unfortunate.
And Trafford on the ground for a long, long time. It's another long wait, although Isidore has ball in hand this time. Yellow card for Trafford. So he certainly can't take forever here. Try as he might. So the personal battle between Wilson Isidore and James Trafford begins again. Oh, Trafford has done it again! And again Burnley will feel justice has been done. Extraordinary from the goal.
A routine win over Derby County followed.
Lefebvre over to his left-hand side, Bellingham going the other way, and it reaches Mayenda, and Mayenda gives Sunderland the lead. First genuine attempt on goal.
And then, at last, we got to see a debut for Champions League experienced Salis Abdul Samed in midfield, in a game where we dropped points by allowing another late equaliser from Plymouth.
JB is there, and Ogbeta! And with seconds to go, Plymouth are level.
But Sunderland still rolled into February in 4th place.
Have snatched a 90th minute equaliser.
And when the transfer window closed, Sunderland allowed a rarely used Aaron Connolly to leave for Millwall. Forgotten man, Nazari Rusine went on loan to Hajduk Split, and perhaps surprisingly given our problems on the left with injury, Adil Aushish was loaned to Portsmouth for the rest of the season. On the 1st of February it was announced that Sunderland had tied down exciting loanee Wilson Isidore to a permanent 3-year deal. And as the transfer window shut, Abdullah Bar joined League Two Dunkirk in France on loan. Sunderland then headed to a stuttering Middlesbrough who had lost 3 of their previous 4 fixtures. And a settling Enzo Lefebvre retired Luke Ayling as the impressive Black Cats took Borough apart.
Morris losing out to Sergei Lefebvre, a pass that's on the money. It's Wilson, is it all for Sunderland? Oh, how cool was that? Absolutely superb. And a player who was on the periphery for much of the first half has finished coolly at the start of the second to put Sunderland...
Isidore, Rigg and the rest celebrated an impressive victory at the end, one that gave Sunderland their first league double over Middlesbrough since 1962.
Assured a victory, and Wilson Isidore inconsolable at Turf Moor just a few weeks ago, with a moment of sheer joy and a moment where...
Days later, Mike Dodds left for Wycombe Wanderers, who were 4 points clear in an automatic promotion spot, a shoe-in for success and promotion there, no doubt. And then Watford rolled into town as we looked for revenge for an early season loss, but a worldie from them saw us have to play till the end.
Plenty Sunderland players around him, but he still manages to find a yellow shirt and a shot from distance, and it goes in the back of the net!
And we needed an Enzo Lefebvre corner for a last-minute goal to equalise.
Good delivery, it's another flat one from Lefebvre, it's flicked on, no! Oh. And the goal!
It's an own goal.
Is it a circuit?
Dennis Circuit, yeah.
That doesn't happen very often, does it? But we brushed pre-season divisional favourites Luton aside as they visited following that.
Lefebvre thinks about the shot.
There it is.
He made that look so easy, but it was brilliant.
Yeah. Well, we gently work it across the pitch into Lefebvre, don't we? Comes in.
And all hopes travelled to Ellen Road on the 17th and the fixture with Leeds United. Sunderland were in fine form, losing only 1 in the last 5 outings to the division's top 3 teams. The lads were also on their longest unbeaten run in the top 2 divisions since 1980. A win tonight would put Sunderland back in striking distance of an automatic spot with no games against the big 3 left to play. But a loss would leave them 10 points adrift of such a goal. And in a game of high tension for both sides, Sunderland raced out of the blocks with Lefebvre teeing up Bellingham.
Keeping it in and beginning to threaten here for Sunderland. Oh, and an opportunity immediately for Bellingham. And Meslier with a very important contribution right at the start here.
But Leeds survived. Sunderland held their nerve though, soaking up pressure and playing on the counter, with Wilson Isidore set free on the half-hour mark and turning Ethan Ampadu smartly to rifle home a shot on the far upright.
To make those runs as ever, up against Ampadu here. He's able to shrug him off and finds the finish. Well, he is certainly...
And Sunderland were leading. With just 10 minutes to go, Zorro came on for Leeds and punctured the storyline with a brace to send the Whites back to the top of the table, though.
Still alive here, Rothwell. He flashed across, oh,
And it felt as if perhaps our last chance at an automatic spot was now gone. We were 10 points adrift of a Leeds side who'd lost only 3 games all season so far. We weren't going to make that up. The hangover of such defeat fell into the next game and saw a loss to a poor Hull City at home.
It's gone in! It has gone in! Well, an unlikely route to set-piece success. And Anthony...
But Sunderland still ended the month recovering some composure as Eliza Mayanda scored his 2nd brace of the season against Sheffield Wednesday.
And they're waiting here! He's done it again! Eliza Mayanda is Sheffield Wednesday's worst nightmare!
That game also marked 300 appearances for Luke 09. He's had his moments from rescuing dogs in the sea to fish out of water goal celebrations.
Wind not helping, slowing things up. Not sure what Luke O'Nine's done there.
Nail on the edge, and there might be a break on now from Bristol City. Luke O'Nine's riding on the back.
Mr. Sunderland has been around for a few eventful moments, and has brightened the days of some of our darkest moments.
I think Luke got nice. Look. Collided with the linesman there.
I think he's booking the linesman. Oh. Yeah. The funny side of it.
It's another Luke O'Nien moment of his best of.
Forgotten man Jefferson Bennett, who had narrowly failed to seal a move to promotion chasing Charlton Athletic in January, finally got a permanent move away to restart his career in a £400,000 move to Cherkasy in the Ukrainian league. It is amazing to think that the last we had seen of him in the senior side was in the 5-0 rout of Southampton 18 months earlier. Best of luck, Dewey. You'll always get that one. That piece of business done, the league for March opened with a win over Cardiff City.
Cardiff getting themselves into a bit of a pickle. Picked up by Patrick Roberts. Roberts finds Eliza Mayenda. He moves!
Oh,
he
there we
shoots!
go.
He scores!
There he
And
is.
Sunderland are 1 goal up!
Yeah, just like that, we just mentioned there. Cardiff caused their own problems, really.
But a subsequent lacklustre draw at home to Preston North End saw our chances slip further.
Falls for Whiteman, and as it does so, the full-time whistle sounds at the Stadium of Light. Preston North End having hit the front.
And then a crushing away defeat to a resurgent Coventry that frankly could easily have been more than the 3-0 it was, let all the doubt creep in, as the lottery of the playoffs seemed increasingly to be our destination. And that defeat was followed by unconvincing wins over Millwall.
All eyes on this throw-in. Tanganga with the throw. O'Nien's there to smash it away. Is that it?
And West Brom.
All eyes on the ref. One final chance perhaps for Albion as Wildsmith hits it long towards DK and Bartley. Sunderland win the first contact and they've actually won a free kick as well. And that, you feel, surely now will be that, Andy.
During the international break, both Rig and Job left for England duty, but eye-catchingly, Mayenda was also called up and made his debut for Spain under-21s. The big man was developing at rapid pace, and soon everyone would know his name, even Sam Fender. But the month also closed with Sunderland finally giving in to a move to Brighton for Tommy Watson. The Seagulls had been chasing him and been rebuffed for 2 consecutive transfer windows, but the player wanted the move as well, and so a deal was done for £10 million and a sell-on percentage that looked good for all sides. And most importantly, Tommy was free to play for the run-in. April began with the knowledge that an away game to Norwich might only need a draw to confirm our spot in the playoffs, with us rooted in 4th position for months now. With this in mind, Regis sent out a considerably weakened team that did in fact play out the dullest draw at Carrow Road. And it continued into subsequent games as Regis began rotating and blooding players to get everyone fit and ensure that no one picked up a suspension when the big games at the end of the season came. Brown filled in at right back against Swansea, and Harrison Jones made his debut in the middle of the field. Quite contrary to this plan, Trey Hume was red-carded away to Bristol City just 7 minutes into the start of the game.
The penalty area, and it's a red card, straight red. It's Hume who has to walk.
With nothing to play for, though, and a focus on staying fit and out of trouble, Sunderland proceeded to put together the worst run-in to the playoffs ever seen in Championship history, losing all of the last 5 games in a row. I wasn't the only one worried about this collapse in form. Could the team just flick the switch and turn it back on in high-stakes games? Regis certainly thought so.
Atmosphere. So when we played twice against Burnley, Sheffield United or Leeds, for example, I think the atmosphere was something similar, and we were really competitive, highly connected.
And he exuded the calm confidence he had done the entire season. He had never got carried away, and now he didn't panic either, as it all came down to a second shot in a high-stakes knockout football in 3 years.
And I think now we are stronger than we were before. So the ambition is high, the expectations are high, but we are ready to fight.
And so it was that we drew Coventry City in the playoffs. They had been on a blistering run of form since appointing Frank Lampard as manager at the end of November and entered the playoff semis as favourites. Sunderland, for their part, had lost the last 5 games in a row. Never before had a team gone into the playoffs with worse form than Sunderland. Over the course of 234 playoff games ever played, on only 10 occasions had the team losing the first leg went on to get through the tie. So Sunderland would likely need to win at a ground that we hadn't done so for 40 years. Regis, though, is a master tactician and had been drilling his side in all sorts of new set pieces in the weeks running up to this. He also understood that this was not like a league fixture. This was knockout football. The key message? Stick together, stay in the tie, and whatever you do, don't lose it tonight. He also sprung a tactical surprise, opting to go 4-4-2, seeking to soak up their aggression and go long over the top of their high press on the counter. And it worked a treat. Neil found an advancing Le Fay, who released Isidore with a pass of sheer perfection through the channel.
For Sunderland, Le Fay. Oh, and he's found Wilson Isidore, who curved his run beautifully, and he has an opportunity, which he takes! Well, that danger was always lurking, and Sunderland making the most of the chance. But there's Rodoni!
Rodoni equalised minutes later, but Lampard makes his teams work very hard, especially the fullbacks on the flanks. And it was Mayanda who gambled, as he often does, on a tired fullback back pass from Van Eyck.
And it might be more than that. Mayanda given a gift. Round Wilson, and he takes advantage. A playoff semi-final lead.
There was little Lampard could do to change things for the second leg just days away. Instead, he doubled down on his team's aggressive press by reintroducing Ephraim Mason-Clark back from injury. Le Bris kept the same tactics that had reduced Coventry to just 2 shots in the first 70 minutes of the first tie. And the second leg played out much the same. Sunderland soaked up pressure, Mason-Clark made the tie level.
Van Eyck, catching right, closing in, and behind him was Ephraim Mason-Clark! Coventry City gave Sunderland a gift on...
But then Coventry started to tire, and as the tie went into extra time, Sunderland looked to be the only one who could win it. And taking the playoff mantra literally, Enzo Le Fay seized another late chance to deliver a corner. He kissed the ball, and Dan Ballard rose from the crowd.
Plenty of movement inside that box. Ballard!
The stadium erupted in pandemonium, and Sunderland were Wembley bound in a week's time. Sunderland entered the richest game in football strangely calm and confident. We had been allocated the west end of the ground, and in our history had never lost when playing out of the west end. That confidence was rattled, though, in the first few minutes as Kiefer Moore demanded a stunning save from Anthony Patterson to remain in the tie. Luke O'Nien went off with a dislocated shoulder that was sustained in the same collision, and Sunderland were rattled early on, losing their chief playmaker from the back. Poor marking at a corner saw the blades break, and Tyrese Campbell put them one ahead. And the team that scores first in this game almost always go on to win. But as we've seen this season, this Sunderland team are never beaten and never give up. And they gradually came into the game. They were nearly undone by a last shot from Harrison Burrows on Sheffield's first corner. But God bless VAR. It was disallowed, and Sunderland got to half-time just 1 goal down. In the second half, the lads took control of the tie, edging further up the field with more ball with passing minutes. Regis rolled the dice and pushed attacking subs on early, Watson and Roberts for Neil and Rigg. And both combined to put Eliza Mayenda through with a sublime finish.
Fay finding Roberts, by far Sunderland's best move!
And from the equaliser, Sheffield United crumbled. All self-belief was gone, and now only Sunderland looked like winning it. And sure enough, deep into injury time, Tommy Watson scored a wondrous goal with his last ever touch of the ball in the Sunderland shirt.
There's O'Hare,
Given away by Kiefer Moore. It's Tommy Watson. This could be some farewell.
And Sunderland will once again a Premier League club.
He's going to the Premier League anyway this summer. He's just taken surely his current club there as well. Sunderland very much the underdogs coming into it. They came, they climbed, they conquered. The Black Cats.
Back in League One, I started making these in the absence of any sort of TV analysis for our club and games. Now we're back in the big time, there will be an abundance of that, and the Premier League will likely obliterate my channel if I continue to do the same. So in one sense, I've served the job I set out to do. However, I will continue to make videos and talk tactics in some form, so stick with me. Subscribe if you haven't already whilst I try to navigate the start of next season. And remember, we're Sunderland till we die. Let's see where the ride goes, and I'll see you next time.